Can I please be live now? Please, am I live now? Someone tell me I'm live. Alright, finally, dude. Holy sh... That took way too long. This is what I get for... for trying to schedule things. Alright. Yeah. I am live, right? Hello? Can anybody hear me? I hope you guys can. I can't hear you? You can't? OBS, why are you doing this? How do I fix this? I don't like that my mouse is showing up on screen. Is my voice just too quiet or something? I can hear you? Wait, okay, you can hear me? Alright, raise your hand if you can hear me. I can hear you too, your voice is fine. Okay, alright. Cool. Alright, how do I want to set this up? Let me... You know what? Actually, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drag this window over here. And I'm going to drag that window over here so I can see the chat. And then we're good. Alright. Now, I can use this to read. Alright, cool. Alright, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, you all have been waiting patiently. I don't know how long some of you have been waiting, but it's good to see everybody here tonight at this this fine Tuesday night, maybe Wednesday morning for some of you. I don't know if any of you live in Asia or I guess some parts of Europe, right? But you know, now we're getting down to business. So everyone, I hope you got some kind of a blanket, some snacks, some chips, some drinks. All right, so let me explain what's going on first. So basically, things are taking a little longer than expected to get this new video out, and I'll probably reveal why in a couple weeks, but for now I'm going to keep it a secret. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say. But because of that, I wanted to read you guys something. Fan fiction, obviously, because of the title. But there was someone who first of all supported me on Patreon. So shameless self-promotion. If you want to go do that, I'd love you very much. But then they reached out to me and they're like, "Hey, can I make a fanfic based off of your part 2 Ladybug video?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." And they actually ended up sending me the rough draft of it, and I was in love with it, and I said, the second you post that, you let me know, because I'm going to read it on stream. It got posted, and now here we are. 1:37 a.m. for Ryan. That's lovely. Alright, so, here's what we're going to do. We're going to read this fan fiction on stream. I have posted a link in the description down below if you want to follow along with me. And yeah, we're just going to get rolling on this. So I'll probably leave this like as an unlisted thing. I don't know, unless everyone wants to see this like as an actual video. But yeah. Wait, did I post the link? Oh no, I didn't. Hold on. Oh my god. How irresponsible of me. Let me fix this right now. Alright. We're good to go. Alright. You guys ready? Alright. Oh shoot. I just realized I'm not going to be able to see chat if I do this. Oh, wait. Hold on. Actually, now I need to move this back if I'm going to do that then. Alright. I'm going to keep breaking the immersion that we're in an actual library. I promise we are. No one pay attention to that part. Alright. Alright. Are you guys ready? I've said that a million times. I hope you are. Let's begin. I'm gonna have to do like different voices for all this. This will be fun. Holy shit, we have 11 people watching. Hello. Alright. Now, I want to point out that this doesn't go through like the full first season that I outlined, but it does go through like the first, I think, 2 episodes. And it will be updated, obviously. But yeah, I wanted to give a little sneak preview, I guess. So here we go. Next time you should do a green screen with this in the background. My webcam isn't working right now, so I had to make do with this, actually. Alright. Here we go. Tales of Miraculous Ladybug. Cat Noir. Tales of Miraculous Ladybug and Cat Noir rewrite. Episode 1. The Tale of the Ladybug and Cat Noir. Is it cat or chat? Because I see it written as chat, but I've never heard anyone say Chat Noir. Rest in peace, webcam. Rest in peace, indeed. I swear I should do ASMR. Yes, I'm deepening my voice for this for dramatic effect. Alright, let's do it. Chat is the French spelling. Fans call him Chat. He's cat in English. Alright, I'm gonna just stick with cat then. Here we go. Alright. The school day was coming to a close for the DuPont High School as the students were eager to end their day and head home as soon as possible. Many students were watching the clock on the wall, waiting with bated breath to leave as soon as the bell rang. Others were just praying for a swift end to the seemingly endless day they were facing. However, one student was actively taking notes and listening to the teacher's every word so she could complete her homework with ease and pass the upcoming test at the end of the week. Her name? Marinette Dupencheng, a dark-haired girl of mixed race origins, half French, half Chinese. She loved fashion. She hoped she could one day get into the industry and become Paris's most famous fashion designer. This was the reason for her absolute focused attitude towards her lectures. She needed outstanding grades in order for her to get into a top university that would teach her the ins and outs of fashion and put her on the path towards her dream. I just chat myself. Damn it, Ryan. Don't distract me. However, when she became focused on any given task, she tended to get tunnel vision, and today was no exception. So when the bell rang, the hyper-focused Marinette jumped out of her seat, tossing all her papers in the air. If the other students noticed, they didn't care, as many of them left the classroom as if their lives depended on it. Only a few actually smirked at her outburst as they passed by. This was a common occurrence for Marinette, as she was easily startled by anything that caused a loud noise, caught her unaware, or just so happened to sneak up on her. The latter being easier than most thought possible. Oh, I need to get better reading. Okay. As Marinette nearly grabbed the last of her papers, a hand grabbed the final few pages and handed them to her in a neat little pile. As she looked up, she saw it was none other than Adrian Agreste. In her eyes, he looked like a gallant knight, or a prince from a fairy tale. She darted backwards out of habit, before taking a deep breath and carefully grabbing the last of her notes. Thank you, she stuttered as she tried to fight the massive blush expanding across her face. You're welcome, he replied with a voice that sounded warm, but to no one who could notice felt hollow, as if it lacked any true, genuine feeling. God damn it, Ryan, I can't look at your chats while I'm reading. Alright, where was I? Marinette had noticed this when she first met Adrian, at the beginning of the school year just 2 months ago, and always tried to understand why he acted cold to others, despite many people, specifically the teachers, reaching out to him. It puzzled her, and she longed to learn more about him and what kind of a person lay beneath. Thankfully, as if the universe heard her, she managed to find out at least surface-level answers in 1 week. What she learned was surprising, to say the least. He was an expert fencer, took several martial arts classes, both armed and unarmed, at school. After class, he was a model for his father's young adult male fashion line. That last one she found out by chance when she saw a billboard with his face on it, smiling and wearing a designer suit. She still couldn't believe that she had passed by that same billboard for weeks on end, and only then noticed that the model was Adrian. While this satisfied her curiosity as to what he did in life, I feel like I'm about to burp. I'm so sorry. She hoped that one day the handsome boy in her class would open up to someone before he remained alone for the rest of his life. After packing all of her school supplies into her bag, she quickly ran towards her locker to gather her remaining personal effects before heading to her after-school activity when she heard an all-too-familiar voice call out to her. Oh, I need a basic bitch voice. Hold on. I gotta drink some water for this. Marinette! Chloe Bourgeois hollered across the hallway.
Yes, Chloe,
Marinette responded with a smile as she adjusted her bag on her shoulder.
I have a task for you. The student council's budget reports need to be printed out for all of the students. We've been having a few discrepancies, and I was hoping to bring them up at the next meeting,
Chloe said with the tone that sounded half business and half entitled. It was probably due to the fact that she was both the mayor's daughter and class president. She gave Marinette the report and left before she could give a response. That voice scared the shit out of me, really? Good, it's working.
I'll get right on it,
she replied out of force of habit, if lack of a recipient. Marinette quickly headed to the computer lab where she began copying the entire 30-page report for each of the student council members. All 10 of them. She had to change the ink in the printers twice due to the amount of colored ink being used. Why Chloe had to have a multicolored font to go along with the reports was baffling, as it just wasted valuable time and resources that could be allocated elsewhere.
She probably thinks that using flashing colors will get people's attention instead of hurting their eyes.
She tried reasoning with herself, only to shake her head in disbelief at her own words. His voice is very soothing. Thank you. I try to have a soothing voice during story time. Alright. Anyway, so where was I? After her task was complete, she stapled and bound each and every one of the reports before taking them to the student council room, placing them at each designated seat in perfect alignment with one fit to the high standards Chloe held for the student body government, as if it were her personal kingdom and not a symbolic club meant to get students to care about their school. It didn't matter to Marinette. She took great pride to make sure that each request was met above and beyond what was asked of her. As soon as she finished, she heard a loud beeping on her phone. She quickly looked down and saw the time, and then panicked.
Oh no, I promised Mom and Dad I'd help them with the bakery today after class,
she internally screamed as she grabbed her things and ran out the door, passing a very nice limo along the way. ASMR. Marinette made her way back to her house as quickly as possible, narrowly avoiding pedestrians as she navigated the crowded streets of Paris, only stopping at the occasional closed crosswalks. She was used to doing this as she often found herself running late to places on a daily basis, and only running to her destinations did she just manage to arrive on time. As she stopped at the crosswalk just a short block away from her home, she failed to notice the large puddle right in front of her, instead focusing on the signal waiting for it to change. Because of her lack of focus, she managed to get hit by a massive wave of water, drenching her completely. It was a shock to Marinette. Such a shock that she stood there frozen, while the people surrounding her slowly moved past her as they made their way across the street. Only one person stopped to ask her if she was alright. All she could do was put on a big smile and say,
"Yes."
Sorry. I really feel like I'm gonna burp, man. I like just ate before this. I'm sorry. Alright. She entered her home through a side door that entered into the bakery proper, where she wouldn't be spotted by any potential customers. She quickly dried herself off with a few spare hand towels before heading back to where her father was taking out the last of the day's bread and pastries. Oh, it's like a bubble in my chest, I swear. I didn't know Corpse Husband read. Yo, not gonna lie, I am channeling my inner Corpse Husband. I wish I had Corpse Husband voice, dude. Alright. Marinette, you're here. Could you please be a dear and clean up the mixtures and trays? I do it myself, but as you can see, my hands are full, her father said with a smile. His dad jokes often being more stale than a week-old bread, but she forced out a small chuckle nonetheless. She knew he meant well, only trying to tell them to bring a smile to her face. And that was all that mattered.
Of course, Taz. Of course, Dad. I'll be sure to eclair of your mess.
I just realized, like, you have to kind of read these to understand what she's saying. Take care of your mess. Okay, I get it. She replied with her own bad pun before heading off to work. At least she acknowledged it's a bad pun. I'm sorry, alright. The large piles of dirty trays, rollers, knives, and mixers would have seemed daunting to anyone other than Marinette, who had been assisting her parents with a bakery for years now. It was just another thing that she tagged onto her long days of helping others with their tasks. A small part of her wanted to ask her parents to hire an employee or to assist them with the bakery. It would allow her to spend more time focusing on her own pursuits, and maybe even spend more time with her friends at school, but despite the amount of traffic her parents received on a daily basis, they could barely afford to pay for her art supplies, let alone a few part-time employees. I'm just loving chat right now. Alright. After the mountain of dishes had been cleaned, she climbed the stairs to her room at the top of the bakery. It had once been an attic that her parents refurbished before letting her move into it. It was the one place where she had some semblance of control in her life. She could simply choose when to fall asleep, work, play. Oh, I almost thought I was gonna burp there. Alright. Maybe I should just drink a lot of soda or something. And then it'll just be forced out. Anyways, where was I? She could choose when to fall asleep, work, play, or just simply relax after a long day. As she made her way to her desk, she opened up her bag and came to a realization that everything had gotten soaked. All of her notes were liquefied, her most recent sketch pad smeared beyond all recognition, and her phone, the one that her parents recently bought her, was now ruined. It was then that the smile she had worn all day finally fell from her face, and tears began to flow from her eyes. It was as if all the pressure of the day finally broke that dam that held back her emotions, and she just let it all out. It was too much for her. The pressure of school, the pressure of home, the pressure of life. They were taking its toll on her, and it was unfair. She wanted to tell Chloe to do her own report, as she wasn't even the treasurer for the student council. She wanted to tell her parents how she felt and live her own life as she wanted, and she wanted to tell the boy she liked how she felt, and maybe even get to know him as a friend or maybe something more. But she couldn't. She was too afraid to face the outcome of her actions. She was afraid of the influence Chloe had in and out of school. She was afraid of letting her parents down. And she most definitely was afraid of facing rejection from the boy she liked. She wished she could be more confident. She wished that she could speak her mind and be more assertive. But that's all they would ever be. Wishes, she thought to herself as she curled up into a ball and continued to cry. There's like a separate conversation going on in chat, and I love it. Hopefully you guys are liking this. Anyways. Oh Almost immediately after she broke down, a flash of a bright red light shone behind her, causing her to turn around with tear streaks still fresh on her face. She shielded her eyes from the bright light that offered comfort and warmth to her, before finally dissipating, leaving a small black box with a red shiny symbol where the light originated. She wondered how the box arrived in her room. In the first place, as she reached out and grabbed it, it was small enough to fit in her hand, actually. Yet it appeared large enough to be a jewelry box. Curious, she slowly opened the box, and inside was just a set of simple red earrings. They didn't look all that special aside from the fact that they managed to shine brightly, even in limited light. Despite not knowing the origin of the earrings, and not even sure who put them there, despite every logical fiber in her being telling her to close the box and call for her parents, she decided to put them on. Within a matter of moments, a bright flash occurred once more, forcing Marinette to shield her eyes again. When the light finally died down, she saw a small red creature in the black spots hovering right in front of her. Then, in a squeaky little voice, the creature said the following words.
Hello, my name is Tiki. What's yours?
Oh, okay, hold on. I need to, get some more water. Oh no, I ran out of water. What's going on? Hold on, I'm reading chat for a second. He wrote this? I thought it was someone else. Yeah, no, this is someone else. This is someone who watched my part too. This is one of you guys. People ship Marinette and Gabriel together? That's very weird. Alright, I'm gonna go get water real quick, so you guys behave yourself. And then we'll read the rest of this. Alright, I'm back. Alright. Alright, here we go. So, we're gonna read the rest of this. To recap, for anyone who just joined, maybe. Oh wow, we have 16 people. Holy shit. Hello. We're reading a fanfic that someone wrote because they said they were inspired by my part 2 video. I was very flattered by that. And then they sent me the first few chapters of this. We just got to Marinette getting the earrings. Alright. Here we go. Alright. Please don't what? I'm only here because I can't sleep. Hey, you know, I guess this is like my ASMR stream. Alright, here we go. I swear to God, I feel like I have to burp. Alright. No random old man tripping on himself encounter for magical girl moments. Fair enough. Alright, here we go. Across the city, Adrian Negress had just arrived home and entered his room after another day at school. Despite convincing his father to allow him to go to a school with most others of his own age, he somehow found it boring. Most of the subjects were already things he knew, making the lessons seem redundant. This thankfully meant he didn't need to take notes, but it didn't offer him a challenge. Even the after-school activities such as fencing and martial arts were first able to satisfy Oh, I almost did it, man. By the way, hi, it's been a while. It has been a while, hey. Alright. Jesus, alright. I need to not stop every paragraph. Alright. Even the after-school activities such as fencing and martial arts were at first able to satisfy him, were able to only go so far before he began defeating all of his opponents with ease. Only his instructors managed to get him to go all out. The only thing that seemed to bring him any challenge and joy now was music. He arrived at the grand piano at the center of his room and sat down, then began to play Chopin's Prelude, number 15 in D-flat major, version 28. He practiced the song as often as he could, as it was a true challenge for him to complete. It also happened to be one of his mother's favorite songs. His father often wanted him to play it in order to see how his talent with the piano was progressing, and it was one of the only times they got to spend with one another outside of breakfast or in a professional setting. He naively believed that if he managed to perfect the song, he could gain some kind of positive reaction out of his father, like a smile or an "I'm proud of you," but that was just a dream of a time before his mother's disappearance. After completing the song, he looked up from the piano and walked towards an old picture sitting on his desk. It was a photo of him, his mother, and his father, all of them. And they were smiling. They were happy. He smiled at the memory. It was the day he spent at the beaches of Marseille, before enjoying the local entertainment spread across the city. That was 7 years ago. Before his father had him modeling for his company, before he was absorbed by his job, and before his mother disappeared. He set the picture frame down gently before rubbing his eyes in an attempt to fight the stinging tears threatening to shed at the memory. He quickly turned around once he heard a limo door close. His father was home after another long business trip, and that brought joy to the young man as he rushed out of his room towards the grand entrance. Perhaps today would be the day that his father would actually ask him about his day, or he might even get the chance to play for him. He bounded down the hallway before sliding down the banister of the stairs and landing on the floor gracefully before standing perfectly upright as his father entered the front door. Adrian still had a large smile on his face as he made his way towards his father, ready to greet him on his return home. His smile fell, however, when his father just stopped out of arm's length and held out his hand in front of him. Adrian's smile faltered a little, but did not disappear as he shook his father's hand. Father, how was your trip?" he asked as he shook his father's hand firmly. "It was productive. I hope you are keeping up with your studies, Adrian," his father Gabriel asked as he began walking towards the stairs. "Yes, and I've been practicing piano often. Perhaps I could, show you," Adrian replied, following close behind, hoping that his father would accept the offer. Later, Adrian, I have some work that I must take care of before dinner, and I cannot wait," he replied as he made his way towards his office. The two went their separate ways once they reached the top of the stairs, making that hallway that divided them seem wider than it was. Later. Always later. Those words were the words that Adrian always hated hearing from his father whenever he tried to get close. No matter how many times he tried to bridge the ever-expanding gap between them, Gabriel would always brush them off, further damaging their fragile relationship. What am I burning? I like the Gabriel voice. He sounds very nerdy. Good match for Marinette. Are you saying my Gabriel voice is good? It didn't help that his father was distant in his life. He was also overly protective of him, to the point that any attempt to go live his own life was nearly impossible, thanks to the work schedules thrust upon him after his school. It was suffocating. His life was planned out each and every day. Eat this, go here, work here, do this, complete homework, practice piano, go to sleep. He couldn't take it anymore. And if he didn't have a change in his life soon, he might run away out of spite and never look back. He'd find a way to live on his own. He knew quite a few skills. He was a smart, athletic. Given enough time, he could be his own man. But his father would find him one day. It was hopeless. Until he reached the age of maturity, he could never get out of his father's constrictive grasp. And that was a terrible fate in and of itself. Okay. Yo, what the fuck? We have 18 people watching. Hey, everybody. Hi. Thank you for joining this stream. I didn't think many people would come, so thank you. The voice acting, though. Thank you. Adrian entered his room and shut his door harder than he intended, but thankfully, it didn't make too loud of a noise to alert his father. As he made his way towards his bed, he noticed a small, black, shadowy orb spread across the top of his pillows. He was worried, but only for a moment, before it dissipated. A small black box with red Chinese symbols covering the pillows appeared. Adrian was hesitant to open it, yet there was also a greater curiosity nagging at him to approach the box and look at its contents. I only came here because I have unfinished business. I have to burn the fanfic. If you even burn something on the internet, I'll give you an award. And no, that doesn't mean I'll give you an award if you cover your laptop in fire. Oh, that would make for an interesting video. Very expensive video. Alright, anyways. His curiosity got the better of him as he reached out and quickly opened the small wooden box and gazed upon the contents. There in the center was a silver ring that looked fairly insignificant to him. Everything logical in his mind was telling him to close the box, ignore the contents, yet something compelled him to put the ring on his right hand without a second thought. With that action, a black blob shot out of the ring, startling Adrian, causing him nearly to take it off, only to stop as the black blob took the form of what appeared to be a black cat with bright green eyes. What was even more surprising for the young man was when he heard the creature speak. Hi, do you have any food? And now we cut back to Marinette. Some of this stuff would make more sense if you guys were reading it with me, so I don't know. Is anyone reading this with me? You're down in Florida, right? Maybe. Oh, Aiden's here? Oh shit, I didn't even notice that. What's up, Aiden? I'm reading fanfic. Alright, so we're back to Marinette now.
Hi, I'm Tiki. What's your name?
The little red creature asked Marinette as she waved her tiny red hand. No sooner had Tiki finished her words, Marinette began squealing and swatting at the flying creature in an attempt to defend herself from whatever effects it may have. From poison to mind control, she didn't know. All she knew was that it was not a normal thing to see. She threw pillows, books, even a few pencils at the little red creature before she finally ran out of things to hurl at it. Ryan, oh my god. After realizing she had nothing left, Marinette tried to make a run from the bedroom door, only for Tiki to zip right in front of her and yell, "Stop!" Marinette jumped back as she fell to the floor, doing her best to crawl away from Tiki. Doing her best to crawl away as Tiki continued to float towards her face.
Please, listen to me. I mean you no harm. I just wanted to congratulate you and you know your name.
Oh, fuck, I don't have many girl voices. I need to do a different, girl voice for Tiki because my stereotypical girl voice is just that. Alright.
Congratulate me and know my name?
Marinette replied, confused. What's another girl voice?
Yeah, I'll have to go really high pitch, I guess. Yes!
No, dude, I can't do that. That's like dolphin decibels, Jesus. Maybe I could do...
Yes, you have been chosen to be the new...
So dumb. Make the girl voice squeaky? Cause use your normal voice? Never. Never. No one deserves my normal voice. Okay, I'll make the girl voice squeaky. Dolphin Tiki? Alright.
Yes, you have been chosen to be the new wielder of the Ladybug Miraculous. Let's talk about these really serious topics with this fucking stupid voice.
Alright, I'm sorry. Okay.
The Ladybug Miraculous, what is that supposed to be?
Marinette asked as she grabbed a fresh notepad and several multicolored pens to start writing down any and all information she was about to be given. You know what I want to do? This just made me think of something that I might do for another stream. I now want to read like something like really stupid and like a super serious voice like this. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's a stupid idea. I don't know, but that sounds kind of fun to me. It's, oh fuck, we got a paragraph of this. Alright, here we go.
It is an ancient artifact from long ago, used by many valiant warriors who protected people from evil and defended the helpless. With you receiving...
I'm sure my mom is like, what the fuck is he doing?
With you receiving the miraculous of the Ladybug, once you say Tiki spots on...
Jesus, this voice is kind of hard to do.
A suit shall cover your body, and it will increase your natural strength and immensely...
Alright, I gotta do another voice. Alright. Let's just do maybe like, you know what, fuck this, I'm going Cowboy Tiki, alright?
It is an ancient artifact from long ago, used by many valiant warriors
who have protected, it's still stupid, but I can do it easier.
Who have protected people from evil and defend the helpless. With you receiving the miraculous of the Ladybug, once you say Tiki, spots on, a suit shall cover your body, and it will increase your natural strength and immensely and allow you to perform great feats unattainable by normal humans. You will also be armed with a yo-yo that will be used as your weapon in battle, a tool to help you find clues to catch the criminals, and a means of traveling quickly across great distances.
Southern Belle Tiki. My mom just barges in. Ladybug, what the hell is going on in here? Alright. Tiki paused for a moment, allowing Marinette to quickly scribble down the information on a piece of paper before continuing once more.
You will also be able to use it to purify corrupted spirits that possess people. Wait, spirits? Are you serious?
Marinette asked, making sure she indeed heard what she thought she said.
Yes, there are occasional spirits that must be purified from time to time, but do not worry. I don't feel any corrupt or dangerous spirits in this city,
Tiki said with a smile as she continued to float around enjoying her new companion.
However, you can only use these powers granted to you by the miraculous of the Ladybug for good. You cannot use them for harmful, selfish, or devious means. This is a very serious and important matter. Do you understand? She said with a serious tone, emphasizing the importance of the role given to her. I mean, I think it was a serious tone. We can't tell. The accent is very thick. Marinette nodded as she continued to work on her notes before hearing a squeaky little cough. She looked up and saw an annoyed face on Tiki that looked more adorable than intimidating. Now that I've answered your question, may I please know your name?
Marinette Dupen Chang, she said with a smile before quickly going back to work. Tiki is now Miley Cyrus. Oh my god. Oh man. Alright. Marinette quickly finished the last of her notes and neatly stacked them in a nice little pile before folding them into a nice little square, then placing it into the box Tiki exited from.
What are you doing?
Tiki asked, confused as she saw Marinette prepare to take off the earrings.
I'm putting instructions in this box for the real wielder of the miraculous. I'm sorry, but I don't think I am the one you want using this power. There are millions of other people out there who would be way better than me. I'm gonna have to refuse this. Someone better can have it,
she said with a sad tone. Tiki seemed nice, but what she was asking for was just impossible for someone like her.
Wait, you can't do that. You were chosen for the role as the Ladybug, Tiki cried as she tried to stop Marinette from taking off her earrings. Again, I'm sorry, but I'm not the right person. You need to find someone else, she said, apologizing once more for rejecting the powers offered her. She reached for the earrings, ready to take them off and place them back into the box. You can't. You've been chosen for this task. You, and you alone, can use the miraculous. Tiki... Did I read that right? Oh yeah, okay, I did. Tiki squeaked, flying in front of the black box in an attempt to stop Marinette. I'm not that kind of person. I'm sorry. I lack even the confidence to stand up for myself, and I do every task someone asks of me, even if I don't want to. What good could I even be as a hero? Marinette asked the tiny Kwame. I'm powerless in my regular life. How do you think I'd fare in a real fight? Tiki nodded in reluctant agreement as she moved out of the way. Just as Marinette once more attempted to take off her earrings, she was interrupted one more time. If you want to relinquish the miraculous, that is fine. However, you must be the one to find the new owner, whom you are sure will be worthy of the task given to them, lest they use their powers for destructive purposes.
Country bumpkin vibes. Southern twang. Yeah. Notice how we now have less people when I started doing the southern accent. I don't care. Hopefully my voice is okay. I probably should have asked that like way long, at the beginning of the stream. But I assume it is, because everyone would have told me it was bad. Should be worthy, lest they use powers for destructive purposes.
Okay. I promise. Until I find somebody, I will keep the miraculous here.
Marinette placed the earrings back into the small black box before hiding it in her desk drawer. I had a stroke, I'm sorry. It would be safe there for a while as she searched for the right owner to take her place. After she hid the box, she heard her mother calling from downstairs. God, I need a third woman's voice. Alright, I'm about to just fucking hire a girl off Fiverr to do these voices for me.
Marinette, can you please...
God, this is legit my Marinette voice. I guess it would be like, it's her mom, so it's a deeper lady voice, so this is my Marinette voice, so this would be my... I don't know, dude, I'm thinking way too much into this. You know what? Fuck it, her mom's gonna sound like me. Marinette, can you please go to the store and pick up a few ingredients for tonight's dinner? I meant to do it earlier today, but since we were swamped with so many customers, I never got the chance, her mother asked.
I'll get it, Mom, don't worry.
Marinette responded as she grabbed the list from the counter before heading out. Hopefully she might be able to find a more worthy candidate to use the powerful tool given to her. There are too many new people in the chat, I'm scared. Ryan, you have to embrace them. First thing you have to do is say, hello, my name is Ryan. I am an addict of hentai. Alright. The only woman worthy of your natural voice is Marinette's mom. Damn straight. Just make one of the voices pure moaning. Okay. I'll think about it. How about this? If, I will make one voice pure moaning if we can get this stream to 15 people. That's your incentive. I'm thirsty for views. Alright. Something. Something. Her mom is my voice. Okay, there we go. Adrian looked at the black cat-like creature and blinked. Had it really just asked for food? It didn't tell him who it was or where it came from, but instead just asked something to eat. What? Adrian asked as he tried to understand what was going on. Was this a trick from his father, a test to see if he will act like some kind of fool? Was it a hallucination brought upon by stress and depression? He honestly did not know.
Food. I'm hungry. Ugh, it's been far too long since I've had anything to eat, and I'm not telling you anything until you do.
It replied angrily as its apparent hunger was starting to affect its mood. Oh, I feel like I'm gonna burp again. I'm gonna make 14 extra accounts now. Hey man, if you want to do that. Where was I? Alright, something, yeah. Alright, fine, but what do you want anyway? Adrian asked, becoming more annoyed than fascinated by the moment.
Do you have any cheese? I've always loved cheese.
The black cat said with his tongue hanging out, licking his lips in desire.
I've got some camembert in my mini fridge,
Adrian replied as he rushed to get to the food in an attempt to get some answers soon. After 5 whole minutes of the tiny black cat eating no less than several large cheese slices of camembert, did his mood change for the better. It was 5 whole minutes that Adrian would never forget, especially the terrifying speed in which cheese was devoured. For several moments he feared he was going to run out of cheese, only for the cat to announce that he was full.
Nothing like a good meal to get you in a good mood.
As I don't know what the fuck this voice has turned into. It said as he patted his tummy, which at one moment looked like a bloated ball, now shrunk down to his original size.
Thanks there, what did you say your name was again?
I didn't, and it's Adrian. What are you? Why did you come out of the ring? Why am I having a stroke while reading this? I shouldn't say that. Adrian asked, tired of being at that disadvantage.
I'm a Kwame in your ring that will give you the power of the Cat Noir, a dark, shadowy figure that wields the destructive force of the Cataclysm, twin batons, and combatant.
How do I activate it? Asked an eager and curious Adrian. This was the second time today that he was acting upon emotion and on his rational thoughts, which were now telling him to learn everything before he took the great leap. I posted it to a server. God help that server if they end up watching this. How do I activate it?
I was getting to that. Hang on, will you? You're supposed to say claws out, and then a suit will appear, increasing your claws out.
Adrian yelled, sucking the now shocked Kwame into his ring with an instant. Don't you love that whisper yell? Because I don't want to annoy people in this household. A black suit covered his entire body with the exception of his hair, which now grew slightly longer and was messy with 2 leather black cat ears, and all that covered his face was a simple black domino mask. Adrian looked at his hands and saw there were claws jutting out from the tips of his fingers, while behind him was a black belt of a tail. A quick look in the mirror also showed him the golden bell around his neck, and the bright green cat eyes staring back at him. He liked what he saw, and a large Cheshire grin grew on his face. He turned towards his window and leapt out, smiling all the way as he climbed the buildings of Paris with ease, leaping across great gaps throughout the city. He was free, and no one, not even his father, could stop him thanks to this. Wait, why are we talking about Squilliam? Oh, Ryan brought it up. He didn't know how long he'd been jumping across the city's rooftops when he started to notice his jumps becoming weaker and weaker. He quickly stopped to catch his breath when he felt the suit disappear, leaving him in his regular clothing, while the tiny black cat reappeared in front of him.
What? Why did you transform before I finished talking?
The black Kwame shouted angrily. Jesus, I wanted to get out of my house, and you gave me the chance to do it, Adrian said, smirking at the angry little cat.
Well, aren't you a spoiled little brat? I'll tell you, I've been on some bad dates before, but you didn't even ask me my name before taking me out for a spin.
The little creature turned around and shrugged, accepting his lot in life. Adrian was taken aback by that. Sure, he was a little standoffish and found much of his school life boring, but he wasn't intentionally rude or spoiled. But that was mostly due to his father's upbringing. No friends that he didn't approve of. No clubs that would assist him in the modeling business world. He understood that his actions were rash and that he needed to apologize to this little creature that he didn't even know the name of. You're right. I'm sorry. I decided to act before you finished telling me everything, up to and including your name. He apologized.
Thank you. Anyway, my name is Plag, so as I was saying, you are the holder of the Cat Noir Miraculous, and as such you will fight evil and avenge the wicked deeds committed by villains. I don't know why Plag sounds like he's like a 10th grader with a bunch of acne who lives in the basement playing D&D a lot. I know that's stereotyping, but I really think that sounds cool. Living in a basement and playing D&D. That actually sounds fun. The acne part, not so much. But I've had acne, so I'm allowed to say it. But, yeah, that's the voice I'm sticking with, so... something, Cat Noir. You will do this using your twin batons and the most powerful weapon, the Cataclysm. A very powerful and dangerous tool that can destroy whatever it touches. However, be forewarned that you can only use it 5 times before the suit loses power, and you will revert back to your normal form.
Oh, God, I'm gonna burp. Okay.
Once that happens, well, I'll need to eat in order for the suit to recharge.
I'm guessing that means I need to keep some camembert on me at all times, then? Adrian asked with an amused look upon his face as Plag nodded enthusiastically. Alright, Ryan. Have a good night, my friend. Thank you for stopping by and keeping this chat alive. I appreciate you very much. Have a good night, my friend. Just then, the unmistakable sound of a speeding car and gunshots being fired by loud police sirens were echoing throughout the cities near him. Adrian and Plag quickly looked over to the side of the roof and saw the chase passing by. A beat-up white van was crashing through the streets while 2 of the passengers fired upon the pursuing police. It was as if it were a scene from an action film you'd see in something like America. To Adrian, it was kind of exciting to see, as he only often saw these kinds of things in the news, where they had only managed to show the aftermath of the action, and nothing during the events discussed. Just as the cars began leaving his sight, Plag got his attention by pulling on his shirt.
Adrian, you need to transform and go after them. This is what you're supposed to do with your powers.
Little Kwame shouted, trying to get Adrian to act. I'm not going after them, Adrian said nonchalantly as he waved off Plag.
What?
Plag yelled in disbelief.
I'm not going after them. It's not my problem. Plus, the police are going after them,
Adrian said, looking off at the fleeing chase still commencing.
But you're the Cat Noir. You're supposed to fight evil, whatever form it takes.
Plag tried pleading, only for it to fall on deaf ears.
Look, I'm gonna go visit a friend right now, so please, claws out,
Adrian said just before his costume formed around him once more. He leapt off the rooftop towards his destination. Hopefully he could spend an hour or 2 with his friends before he returned home. He didn't think of the criminals driving through the streets, endangering the lives of all the Parisians? People are dying, Adrian. Adrian's like,
yeah, but like, they'll be fine.
Alright, anyways. Endangering all the lives of Paris, of the people of Paris down below. He only cared about himself. That was all that mattered. Adrian jumped down into an alleyway just a short distance from the large hotel Le Grand Paris, where his friend lived. Just as he reached the ground, his suit faded away to nothing and out popped in a rage Plag.
That's it! I refuse to be used as some sort of cheap transportation across the city. You're a spoiled brat, and I don't know how or why you were given this power. From what you've shown me, you don't deserve it, and never will.
Like I care. Adrian scoffed at the outburst from before taking off the ring. He didn't need to hear this from anyone, especially such a tiny creature like Plague. He thankfully had brought the black box with him and placed the ring inside of it. He pocketed the box before... He pocketed... Sounded like a criminal, I love it. He pocketed the box before making his way towards the hotel, where his only friend since childhood that he wasn't related to lived, Miss Chloe Bourgeois. I need water, Jesus. How you guys liking this so far, by the way? Oh, okay. So refreshing to see Adrian out of character. I agree. I mean, this is like exactly what I was like saying would like really help if they gave Adrian more of a defining character. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Really like the way this person writes too. Because like I remember like when I read this the first time, I was like, holy shit, this person is a really good writer. So please go give him some love, guys. Either read this along with me or after, just give it like a read, because this person's really good at writing. Yeah, anyways. Chloe Bourgeois. Alright, here we go. Making his way up to the penthouse was as easy as Chloe told him of a secret code for the elevator to get to the penthouse without a key card. Once he reached the large penthouse doors, he gently knocked, announcing his presence to Chloe, where he heard a lazy, "Come in," before entering. He entered the large, lavish room that was filled with everything you could expect and more in a penthouse of Le Grand Paris. Golden chandeliers, lavish red carpeting, a large kitchen that could have fit 12 cooks at once, and a massive living room that housed a giant screen TV that covered most of the wall. It was the place Chloe called home, and it never left her wanting for anything. Adrian literally said, "Fuck Paris." It's so true.
Ah, Adrian, darling, what a pleasant surprise. I'm so glad you're here. I was just thinking about you.
I need to get my own place so my mom doesn't pass by my door probably thinking like, what the fuck? Chloe said as she rushed to meet him, giving him both a hug and kissing each of his cheeks. He accepted the affection with a smile, knowing full well it was who she was. Correction, it was who she was when she was around him. Aside from her father, the owner of the hotel and mayor of Paris, and her mother, a fashion mogul who occasionally worked alongside his father, he was the only other person to receive this level of affection from her. Yet, unlike her parents, she was extra lovey-dovey with him, to the point of near annoyance. But he weathered it. She was his only friend and was willing to let her do whatever she wanted, so long as they got to spend time together. Alright. Steal her TV? Isn't he a millionaire? Why does he need a TV? Then again, he did say fuck Paris, so maybe he's just a rude person. He's just a mean dude. Their history went back to when he was just a child. Their parents were in the same tax bracket. I fucking love that. Their parents were in the same tax bracket, and as a result of that expensive club, they were more often than not the lone children at parties. They managed to stick close to one another through the years, despite the changes, heartache, and professionalism placed upon them. That was fine for him, though he knew full well that Chloe wanted more.
Come on, there's a car chase on the news, and it's going on a rampage throughout the city. They've almost cornered them.
This was part of their pastime, watching exciting videos, playing strategy games, or enjoying the occasional classic film from America. What's considered a classical film from America, I wondered? Because, like, I hear classic film, and I think, like, Casablanca, and then I'm like, no, that's way too old. Like, what would, like, Gen Z think is a classic? Like, Back to the Future, maybe? Is Audrey a bad mother in this universe, too? I don't know. I think only the first 2 episodes are written, but I mean, this is based off of my rewrite. So in my rewrite, I assumed she was. So I'm gonna go with yes, maybe? I don't know. I should ask the author. They sent me like kind of like an outline of what they wanted to do for specific chapters, and I'm like, please, like, if they do actually write what they say they are, like, this fanfic could be really freaking good. Holy shit, we've been streaming for an hour. Alright. Despite her surface level arrogance and seemingly spoiled attitude, Chloe was just a normal girl with expensive tastes. He knew she was a bit rude at times, but he excused her behavior, as that wasn't who she was all the time. Deep down, she was a good person. It's just years after being called a spoiled, selfish, rude rich kid. Well, she slowly accepted the role and would often act upon the label placed upon her. He never called her that, and unfortunately, due to his close proximity with her, he was also given the narrow-minded label, and as such, he became cold to the outside world. Oh, okay, there we go. Oh my god, that... I felt like I've had that bubble in my chest for so long now. It was a defense method to keep himself from being hurt by those around him. Whether they be people on the street, his fellow models, or even his classmates, he knew they saw him as a bourgeoisie from Versailles, in the guise of a peasant. It didn't matter to him. They didn't bother him, and he didn't bother them, unless their teachers forced them to. However, he often had a nagging feeling in the back of his head. Was he becoming the trope of the spoiled, selfish, rude rich kid? Or was it just the part he played? He was willing to use the label to keep people at bay, but to actually become what other people thought of you, that was what scared him.
Alright. Adrian, look!
Chloe yelled, bringing him out of his thoughts once more.
They've cornered the car, and they're about to crash it.
Adrian quickly ran towards the TV, spotting the tail end of the car chase, with the helicopter footage panning past each police car chasing down the street. It was exciting. Like watching a real-life scene from an action movie. The cars sped down the street, chasing after the lead vehicle, which was just coming into frame, and Adrian's smile fell. The van that the police were chasing was the same beat-up white van he refused to chase after earlier. The weight of his inaction hit him with the full force of a freight train, and it staggered him. He now noticed that 12 people had been sent to the hospital because of the rampage, with more people being sent if it continued any longer. Then, as if the weight of his refusal to stop the criminals didn't crush him even further, the van crashing into a bakery's front window. Wait, what? I need to reread that sentence. Then, as if the weight of the refusal to stop the criminals didn't crush him even further, the van crashing into a bakery's front window. If he didn't feel mortified on behalf of those people who owned the house, then he heard the name of the owner, Dupen Chang, and his face went pale.
Okay. Ha! Serves Marinette right.
She heard Chloe forcing him to look at her. He no longer saw Chloe bourgeois. No, not bourgeoisie. Jesus Christ. He no longer saw Chloe bourgeois. He saw the spitting image of a true, spoiled, selfish, rude, rich kid, and saw his future in her. And that scared him to the core of his being.
Like I said, people are dying.
Alright, jump back to Marinette. Dude, I should become a voice actor. I'm kidding, but I actually kind of want to be one. Marinette had managed to complete her errand within record time, gathering all of the ingredients necessary for the meal her mother had planned for dinner. Once she exited the store, she made her way back home, slowly walking down the street at everyone she passed by, studying them with a wide grin. For the first time, Marinette had the power over something, and it was a big something. She had the power to choose who would become Ladybug, the savior of Paris. It was a big responsibility, and it was one she could not take lightly. She spotted a girl jogging down the street, making her way past civilians with ease, until she accidentally bumped into a man, not watching where she was going. Instead of asking if the man was okay, she yelled at him,
"Watch where you're going, you stupid!"
Clearly, she was not the right choice. Then, she spotted another girl who was leading her friends around. She seemed to have leadership skills. That was until Marinette overheard the conversation.
Why, yes, Jacob, don't worry. Me and the girls are just at the library. We're nowhere near the club district. Don't you worry, sweetheart. Mwah.
Lying for selfish and harmful reasons that immediately disqualified her from the position. This was a common theme for Marinette. She would spot a hopeful candidate, and they would dash her expectations. They were either rude, liars, violent bullies, or some other manner of that, being ultimately people who would use the powers given to them for selfish and harmful gain, rather than helping save the city. She pondered. Was she the right person, as Tiki explained? Maybe out of the entire city. Maybe she was the one who would do more good with the powers given to her than anyone else. You should be a voice actor. You have a good voice. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Chloe's a high-key, unhinged. What am I saying? Yes, she is. Swag. Those thoughts were quickly dashed once she felt another wave of water splash her across the face. Thankfully, the food was in waterproof bags, so they would be less likely to get soaked and ruined. But she had been covered from head to toe in water once more, and she was just sick of it. The day was bad enough as it was, and she didn't see how any of it could get worse. Then, she heard the sirens heading towards her house, and her heart sank. Marinette hugged the food tightly to her chest and ran towards her house, praying that the bakery was fine and that the police cars and fire trucks were only passing through. However, once she turned the corner, her fears had been confirmed, with a large white van smashed into the side of the bakery, and her parents sitting on the edge of an ambulance being tended to by the paramedics. Marinette nearly dropped the food as she ran to them, almost being stopped by the police until they realized she was the daughter.
"Mom, Dad, are you...
She yelled carefully when hugging the two of them as she was unsure of the extent of their injuries.
Yes, Marinette, we're
fine. I'm not reading whose voice this is. Jesus. Yes, Marinette, we're fine. Just a few bumps and scrapes here. Nothing to worry about, her father assured her as she patted her shoulder.
Are you sure you're okay? No broken bones? No.
We're fine, Marinette. I'm more worried about the bakery. Hopefully they just took the money in cash and register and didn't take anything from the house. Upon hearing that, Marinette remembered the miraculous bucks she kept hidden in her room. It was a long shot that the criminals broke in there, but she had to be sure. She quickly ran into the bakery while her parents were giving a statement to the police, where she had heard that aside from the money, only the car had been stolen. Still, her parents hadn't checked the rest of the house, and that was enough doubt to cause her panic as she raced up the stairs, praying that her room was untouched. Sorry to drink some water. Alright. Once she burst through the door to her room, she didn't even bother to notice her room was untouched. She ran straight for the desk and opened the drawer. When she looked inside and spotted the black box with red symbols still closed and undisturbed, like she left it, she breathed a sigh of relief. Quickly opening it, she put the earrings on and saw Tiki pop out once more with a big smile on her face. Oh yeah, that's right, I gave Tiki the
That voice. "Oh, good! You've decided to become Ladybug and save the city!" she exclaimed as she twirled around in the air. No, I'm just gonna use the powers to get the bad guys that hurt my family. Then I'll continue my search for the true owner afterwards," Mariner replied as she stood up in a ready stance just before she shouted the quote to summon the powers of the Ladybug. Spots on. Did the white van have kids in it? Sounds sus to me. Guess we'll have to keep reading. I mean, I know the answer, but... Just then, a bright light... That has to be a typo. Because that should probably be an O instead of an I. Just then, a bright light shot out and covered her entire body in a red skin-tight outfit with black dots printed all over. Then, for the final edition, a ladybug red and black printed mask spread across her face, covering the area around her eyes in a small domino mask. There she stood proud, strong, confident. She was Ladybug. I'm wondering if I should continue the story, because, like, there's technically, like, another chapter here. Like, there's... I mean, this is all, like, one thing, but I know it's broken into, like, 2 different episodes. Do you guys want me to continue it? Oh, no. I was just gonna move this. I didn't mean to move the thing. No. Stop. Can you stream tomorrow? Oh, I don't know. This might be the only day I can stream for, like, the next few weeks, actually. Because tomorrow... I definitely won't be able to. Thursday I won't be able to. Friday I won't be able to. And then Saturday, I don't want to say anything, but, like, Saturday I might... No, I'm not going to say anything, but I'll be... After Saturday, I'll be preoccupied for the next couple weeks. Actually, I don't know. I might be able to stream next week. There might be one day where I could stream next week. I just don't know. Here, you know what? I'm gonna go get some more water. You guys think it over. I will be right back.
Do you guys think of anything? Yes, no, maybe so. I don't know. Well, we've been streaming for about an hour now. I mean, I'm kind of immersed right now. Alright, we'll finish it. We'll finish it. Okay, so... yeah, I don't think we have that much more to go. I think we have like another... I think we're like 2/3 of the way done. Yeah, alright, cool. Alright, here we go. Let's finish it. When he heard the name Dupen Chang on the news, he knew that it was the last name of one of the girls in the class. Marinette. One of the nicest girls at his school. Clumsy, yeah. Late, often, easily startled. A cat could keep better composure than her. Yet, despite all of these things, she was smart, kind, selfless, reliable. So reliable that the entire school, up to and including the faculty, asked for her assistance with the most mundane tasks imaginable, and she excelled at them every time. Yet, here he was, sitting next to Chloe, who was laughing at her and her family's misfortune, and he hated it. He was just as bad, if not worse, than any other spoiled, selfish, rude rich kid, and he hated it. Because he had the power to stop it before it got out of hand, and now, people will suffer for it. When he heard Chloe say, "Ha! Serves Marinette right," he knew he was headed down a dark path, and it made him sick. Adrian quickly got up from the couch and headed towards the balcony in an attempt to get some air. This did little to alleviate his feeling of dread, as he felt like he was about to vomit right then and there. The weight of the box in his pocket increased 1,000-fold when he realized that he could have stopped them. He could have aided the police and prevented the criminals from doing more damage to the city. But he didn't, because it wasn't his job. It was the police's, he thought. He had to make this right. He had to convince Plag to let him use the powers of the Cat Noir one more time and find the criminals, and he needed to do it now. He be catching feelings. Sorry, Chloe. I have to go, otherwise my father will find out I've left home and he'll bolt the windows shut from the outside, Adrian said as he ran out the double doors before his friend could even respond. Adrian pulled out the ring that was in his pocket, and once he reached the rooftop, put it on, summoning Plag from within.
If you think I'm gonna let you use a suit to get home from here, you can forget about it.
I need to become Cat Noir to find the criminals that we saw earlier. They robbed a bakery and destroyed half of their building. Please, you have to let me do this, Adrian half blurted out and half begged as he folded his hands together, willing to give him cheese for the rest of his life if he so desired. He just had to fix this one problem. Then he heard Plag laugh.
So you finally learned your lesson, huh? That was faster than I expected to take. Well, good news for you. I'm feeling generous, so I'll help you. However, if you ever, and I mean ever, try to use my powers for destructive, selfish reasons again, I'll leave and never come back. Do you hear me?
This is not my best voice. I realize that. Okay. That's one I definitely need water for. Adrian nodded fiercely as he stood up, ready to don the Cat Noir suit once more. Only this time, it would be for actual good, and not make him feel a sense of misguided freedom.
But first, I should tell you something that might help you in your endeavor. If you focus your eyesight and hearing hard enough, you can find anyone you are looking for with ease. Though it is only good for picking up recent scents, so I'd recommend you get a move on, kid.
Adrian nodded once more before he shouted his transformation quote for the third time that day. No sooner had he transformed, he leapt off the rooftops and began tracking down the criminals he refused to stop earlier. Hopefully, he could prove to at least himself that he wasn't a spoiled, rude rich kid. Maybe even possibly some sort of hero. Marinette was shocked to see the Ladybug printed suit covering her entire body like a second skin, leaving only her head, aside from a small mask, exposed, so much that she immediately freaked out and nearly shouted, "Spots off! Spots off!" Tiki popped out of the earrings with a worried look on her face, zipping all around Marinette.
Are you okay? Are you alright? Did you transform properly?
Tiki asked as she stopped right in front of Marinette's face.
Yeah, I'm fine. It's just, it kind of startled me with the suit coming out of nowhere and covering my entire body.
She blurted out, still trying to catch her breath in the process. Tiki gave a sigh of relief before looking at Marinette once more with reassuring eyes.
That's what's supposed to happen, Marinette. A great flash is supposed to occur and transform you into a great ladybug,
she explained with a calm smile.
Okay, but the mask doesn't really cover my entire face. Won't people recognize me with that limited mask? Or what about my voice? Won't people be able to recognize me based on that? I read that sentence wrong, whatever.
Marinette asked, worried that her actions might put a target on her back by her friends and family, asking her thousands of questions and demanding answers that she really wouldn't have.
Oh, you don't need to worry about that,
Tiki chuckled.
What?
Asked the dumbfounded Marinette.
The mask, it gives off a memorizing illusion. I have to memorize the illusion. Anyways, I'm fucking stupid. The mask gives off a mesmerizing illusion that no one can see through, and your voice will sound different to others, but not to you. It's a defense mechanism meant for all miraculous holders, and you are no exception.
I feel like Dolly Parton whenever I do that voice. The explanation reassured Marinette as she gathered herself once more, preparing herself for the next transformation.
Alright, Tiki, let's try this again. I'll become Ladybug and find the criminals that robbed my parents' bakery and save the day.
Marinette then yelled,
Tiki, spots on.
Once again, the red suit covered her entire body with the Ladybug printed mask covering her eyes. Once the transformation was complete, she leapt out of the bedroom and pulled out her yo-yo. Excuse me, I burped. I'm so sorry. That was very rude of me. She quickly pulled out her yo-yo and used the screen to scan for clues down on the street. She soon spotted the tire tracks of her father's stolen car that were faintly left on the street. I feel like I need water. Hold on. Following the path they took, she quickly ran across rooftops as quickly as she could, leaping short and moderate-sized distances with ease. Marinette found that her lack of athletic prowess found herself keeping a constant pace without running out of breath. Whenever she found herself trying anything athletic, she'd be out of breath by this point, but now she felt like she could run around the world without breaking a sweat. Despite her excitement, she was focused on the path of the tire tracks until she caught herself nearly falling off the rooftops. When she noticed a massive gap between her and the next building, looking down at the yo-yo, she saw the tracks were fading, meaning that if she didn't act soon, she would lose her targets. Then she remembered what Tiki told her. She began looking around for something to wrap her yo-yo around and found a few flagpoles heading down the street. It was perfect, but just as she launched her yo-yo and wrapped it around the pole, it dawned on her. She'd never done anything like this before. Oh, I feel like my voice is fading. I need to Get it back. Testing 1 2 testing. All right. Is this entertaining? I don't know. All right. Dawn on her. She'd never done anything like this before. She'd never practiced swinging, and here she was about to swing across the city like it's nothing.
No! Ladybug yelled to herself. You will not be a coward. You need to find the men who stole your parents' car and money and committed to who knows how many other crimes. You will do this!
With that, she jumped off the roof and began to swing. The rush of air whistled past her as she got closer to the building, causing her to pull on the yo-yo and launch it towards another location for her to swing from. Thankfully, it was a chimney, and she continued to swing with relative grace. She'd get the hang of it, hopefully. I thought I read that wrong, sorry. Despite the initial difficulties, she managed to make her way through the streets, with many onlookers pointing in awe at the girl in red swinging above them. Ladybug kept swinging until she found a good spot to stop and attempted to track the robbers once more. Yes, Barry. Okay. Perched upon the ledge, she managed to bring her yo-yo up once more, seeing the path continue towards the darker parts of Paris, the warehouses and abandoned buildings that many of Paris citizens knew not to go to.
Of course they'd go there,
she thought as she continued to swing after the men that stole from her family. Once she arrived on the scene, she continued to track the treads of the tires once more to one of the many large warehouses in the area. She quickly navigated the building, finding many crates to offer her cover as she advanced towards her first and possibly only action as a superhero. Then she found them, 6 criminals, huddled around a large pile of money, while the unmistakable silhouette of her father's car was hidden underneath a large tarp. She could barely make out what the group were saying, but from what she could hear was, "Shouldn't have stolen from the bakery," and
we gotta get away from this.
Deciding it was now or never, Ladybug jumped out of the shadows, pointing a finger at the crooks and yelled, "Have at thee, villainous criminals, for I have come to bring you in." That's extra funny because there's like an inside joke I have with my friends that starts with "have at thee."
Have at thee, villainous criminals, for I have come to bring you in.
The initial reaction was shock on the face of the crooks, only for them to, well, burst out laughing at her statement. To be honest, even she thought it was a stupid thing to say, but that couldn't stop her now.
I'm serious. I'm here to take you in for the crimes of theft, property damage, and endangering civilians,
Ladybug said as she slowly as one of the larger men walked up to her and laughed. He was a large man, full of muscles, smelled like cheap cigarettes and body odor, and he wielded a crowbar that he tapped on his hand.
Looky here, little girl. I don't know what game you're trying to play, but I'm gonna tell you one thing. You've seen our faces, and for that, we can't let you leave. Well, alive.
The man chuckled as he winded up a big swing ready to cave her head in. Just as the crowbar swung at her, Ladybug quickly ducked down before responding with a solid uppercut to the man's jaw. The crook was staggered for a bit, allowing her to throw another punch to his gut, knocking the wind out of him. Ladybug... Okay, time to beat some grown men's ass while wearing some magical Kwame jewelry. Now that's iconic. Ladybug was shocked once again. Not only did she manage to land 2 solid hits on a guy 2 feet taller than her, but she actually managed to do some damage. She had little time to ponder this as another crook came at her with a pair of butterfly knives, swiping at her narrowly, missing her like gymnastic moves by a hair's breadth of it each time. She managed to backflip out of the way and kick one of the knives away, while sending another kick towards the man's jaw, sending a tooth flying in the process.
I I might actually win this,
she thought with confidence. That was until she was tackled to the ground by a third criminal, pinning her arms to the ground in the process. Another crook quickly grabbing her legs and pinned them as well, leaving her helpless. What was worse was when one of the two final criminals walked towards her with a gun in hand, aiming directly at her face.
That was a nice show there, little girl, but you should know. You should have known that this was going to end one way,
the man said as he readied his gun to fire. All the while, Ladybug was helpless and nearly on the edge of tears. What was she doing? What was she thinking? She wasn't some hero ready to catch the bad guys and save the day. No, she was just some girl playing dress-up. And now she was gonna pay for it with her life. Then she looked up, and there she saw the most encouraging sights in her lifetime. In her entire life. I don't know why I said lifetime. A pair of dark green cat's eyes and a wide, toothy grin staring down at her. What happened next? Okay, I need water again. That voice is fading. I like doing that voice. It's a cool narrator voice, but sometimes it can be hard to keep up. Break his legs. Let's see what happens. What happened next played out in all of 3 seconds. A silver baton flew at the man with the gun's head, knocking him back and giving him a black eye in the process. While the man holding her legs was tackled and thrown across the room, colliding with a wooden crate. Yo, that sounds like that scene straight out of Batman vs. Superman, where Batman, like, throws a crate at that dude's head. You guys know what did you ever see that movie? Am I the one who saw that movie? Am I the only nerd in here? Please, I mean, that movie was popular, right? That's what I'm thinking of right now. Anyways, fucking back to this shit. Shortly after this, Ladybug, now with her legs free, kicked the man holding her arms in the face, knocking him off of her, allowing her to counter her opponents. I remember. Dope. You're dope. That scene was badass, man. I didn't like that movie, but that scene was fucking cool. Alright, anyways. She quickly got to her feet and had her back parallel with the person who just saved you. Who are you? She asked as she saw 3 of the 6 criminals ready themselves for a counterattack. Same as you. You get a ring as well? He asked playfully before blocking and subsequently countering the attacking man with a bat. No. Earrings. She replied playfully and used her yo-yo to beat back the 3 men trying to advance upon her once more. So, what's your name, Earrings? Or should I call you something else on this date? He asked as he performed a tornado kick, sending another crook to the ground before hitting him on the back of the head, knocking him out. Oh, so this is a date, is it? She replied before tripping a crook and sending him into his buddies in the process. Well, I've been told it's polite to ask a girl for her name on the first date. He smiled before sending a back fist to the face of the third man he was fighting. Ladybug. And yours? She smiled, facing him with a grin. Cat Noir, he replied, facing her before bowing down in an exaggerated manner, in the process allowing a criminal to fly over him and fall to the ground with an ungraceful smack. Just as they were about to celebrate their apparent victory, a gunshot rang out, forcing the 2 of them to scatter for cover. Ladybug readied her yo-yo, spinning as fast as she could, ready to launch it at her final opponent as soon as she was given the chance. Cat Noir prepared to make a run for it. He knew he could use the shadows for cover, and maybe, if he was lucky, he could strike once there was an opening. The heroes put their respective plans into action. Unfortunately for the 2 of them, they would both fail. Cat in his dash towards the shadow was caught by Ladybug's yo-yo, causing her to accidentally pull him towards her, causing the 2 of them to get tangled up together. The final criminal, aiming his gun at the 2 entangled heroes, laughed as he got closer. You 2 are pathetic.
You're just snot-nosed little brats that think somewhat kung fu and fancy toys are enough against actual weapons. Wrong. And just because the two of you managed to get on my nerves, after I kill you both, I'm gonna go in after your families and kill them as well, just to send them a message. What do you have to say to that?
Unbeknownst to the gunman, Cat Noir was able to get his arm free and reply with a smile.
Just one word. Cataclysm,
he said as he slammed his hand down on the ground next to the armed criminal. In a matter of seconds, the ground decayed and collapsed, causing a hole to form resulting in the criminal falling down in the small hole that dropped him down to just below his neck. By the time the man realized what had happened, the two superheroes stood above him triumphantly. The two heroes gave a well-done nod towards one another before leaving the building, once they heard the sirens blaring in the distance.
Who are you freaks?
I can't yell, I'm sorry. Who are you freaks? Shouted the man buried up to his neck, trying desperately to gain some knowledge from the embarrassing ordeal.
The name's Ladybug.
Ladybug started as she swung out of one of the windows on the ceiling.
And Cat Noir. Be sure to remember the names. You'll be hearing them a lot.
Cat added as he leapt after his fellow superhero, disappearing in the dark shadows of the night.
Leave them kids alone, sir. This is a Wendy's. Who's assaulting children in a Wendy's? Wendy's is dope, dude.
They've got really good burgers.
Yelling is very hard, especially when it's night and there are people trying to sleep. Oh, the consequences, or not consequences, the downsides of not living by yourself, I guess. Blah, 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 blah.
When the police took the criminals away, they all said the same thing. Two people dressed as superheroes beat them up and left them for the police. They were skeptical of the statements and were less than likely to take the word of a bunch of criminals who many have done one too many to drink. Had one too many to drink. Meanwhile, the two heroes sat perched atop a nearby roof, looking at the aftermath with pride. Ladybug felt confident in herself. Not only had she captured the bad guys, but she also felt she wasn't alone in stopping crime across the city. Cat Noir felt a small sense of redemption. Sure, he had fun fighting the bad guys and winning, but he knew he had done right. Maybe there was more good he could do as both Adrian and Cat Noir. Only time would tell. Adrian decided to break the silence that hung over them by asking them a simple, straightforward question.
Will I see you again, my lady? Yes,
Marinette replied.
I think you will, unless you're tired of me already.
She playfully replied with a smirk.
Get tired of you?
Never.
Can't wait to do this again. And soon. See you later,
he said as he leapt off the roof and began heading back home for a long rest.
So long, kitty,
she replied as she began her long journey home. Unbeknownst to the two heroes, a man in a dark purple suit, wielding a cane, turned off the news and grinned widely. For years, he had been searching for others who might have had a miraculous, and now, two people fitting the description of wielders were right here in his backyard. The universe was funny that way. Those two heroes, they're... Oh wait, no.
Water.
There are two more now. Good. Once I have them in my grasp, I shall be able to enact my wish once and for all.
That's like the deepest I can go to.
He laughed maniacally as a kaleidoscope of butterflies swarmed around him in a malicious manner. These two heroes will give me their miraculouses willingly. or they shall be responsible for the destruction of this city." Then he slammed his cane, dispersing all the butterflies, leaving him alone in a pitch-black room. I did it! I read the entire chapter! Whoa! That's a lot of words, dude. Sounds more menacing than canon. Dude, they should have made me voice the dude. I would have scared the shit out of people. I'm just kidding. Well, guys, that was... yeah, like I said, that was, the fanfic that someone said they were gonna write, based off the video I made. I was very flattered when I heard that. And if you want to see more of it, you know, the person who wrote this has sent me, like, their ideas for the other chapters they want to do, and oh my god, they have some really good ideas. Like, they had some ideas for things that I didn't even mention in my video, and I'm really excited to see what they do with it. So please go over, there's a link in the description, go over, give it a read, give it a comment, be like, yo dude, don't say WireMagician sent me, because don't do that, no one cares. Just say, like, you know, like, this was a really good story and I enjoyed it, and then talk about which part was your favorite, okay? Do that. And yeah, so thank you guys for joining me. I honestly didn't think a lot of people would come to the stream, so thank you. I don't know when part 3 is going to come out, but I promise I will try and get it out soon-ish. There might be something that might prevent me from making it for a couple weeks, but I'm not going to say what yet. But I promise you, it will come. It just might take a minute. And maybe I'll do another one of these streams or something. Maybe another bedtime story kind of thing. Thank you so much for the bedtime story. Yeah. You're welcome. That was so good. Yeah, it was really good. So yeah. My voice is starting to go now. I don't know if you can tell. But yeah, and so anyways, yeah. Part 3 will hopefully be coming out soon, where I watch the new Miraculous Ladybug movie, talk about what I think it's gonna mean for the series going forward, and then I'm probably gonna be done with Miraculous Ladybug, and move on to other things. But I am excited to get this part 3 out, and I want to make it good for you guys. So yeah, it might take a little while to get out, but yeah, guys, that was about it. I'm gonna go now. You guys have a good night. Thank you for joining me. And I will see you guys. Take your time, don't worry about it. Thank you so much. I will. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next video or stream.